Ospreys, welcome to Inside Swoop in 90 and our special report on the January 6 hearings. I'm Megan Agugliaro here with an edition of Capital Consequences where I give you the inside scoop on Inside Swoop. The second hearing of the House Committee's investigation aired on Monday and found that former President Trump was warned by several of his advisors about election fraud claims. In a series of interview clips, the House was able to show the testimonies of several advisors. According to AP, Trump was told to stop claiming that the election had widespread fraud. The committee believes they have enough evidence to indict Trump. Donald Trump started claiming fraud well before Election Day. The committee provided evidence of Trump's claims using clips from August 2020. Trump also raised hundreds of millions for an election defense fund. The fund that was supposed to contest the election actually went to paying off debt, the RNC, and Trump's campaign. The committee also found that Trump's family and friends benefited from the fund. The committee alleges that Trump consistently ignored evidence of voter fraud being false. This escalated into marching orders that allegedly summoned supporters to Washington and sent them to the Capitol to block Biden's victory. The former president made remarks Monday that defended the Capitol attacks as merely Americans seeking to, quote, hold their elected officials accountable. The committee is still building its case against Trump as the next hearing continues Wednesday. Well, Ospreys, that's it for this special report of Capital Consequences on Inside Swoop in 90. Hello, Ospreys. Welcome to Inside Swoop in 90 and our special report on the January 6 hearings. I'm Megan Agugliaro here with an edition of Capital Consequences, where I give you the inside scoop on Inside Swoop. The House Committee continues to make their case against former President Trump during their hearing on Thursday. Last week, the committee heard from 3 former Justice Department officials who claimed that Trump pressured the department to look into false claims of election fraud after the 2020 election. There were even claims that Trump wanted his attorney, Jeffrey Clark, to take over the Justice Department in December 2020. But who is Jeffrey Clark? He's an attorney who usually handled environmental cases. Clark was first introduced to Trump by Pennsylvania Congressman Scott Perry. Clark is being investigated for a proposal he created to stop legislators from battleground states from certifying the 2020 election. He was even considered for Attorney General, but Trump was met with backlash from top Justice Department officials who threatened to resign if he did. According to AP, Trump has called the hearings a, quote, witch hunt, blaming Kevin McCarthy, House Minority Leader, for declining Republicans from the committee. While there are 2 Republicans on the committee, Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger, McCarthy decided to not see any more Republicans because of the rejection of 2 of his choices, who were rejected for voting to decertify the election results. The next hearing will begin in July. Well, Ospreys, that's it for this special report of Capital Consequences on Inside Swoop in 90. Hello, Ospreys. Welcome to Inside Swoop in 90 and our special report on the January 6 hearings. I'm Megan Agugliaro here with an edition of Capital Consequences, where I give you the inside scoop on Inside Swoop. On Tuesday, a last-minute hearing shows a new testimony from witness Cassidy Hutchinson. Hutchinson, a former White House aide, provided her account of the time leading up to January 6. AP reports that Hutchinson had originally worked for some of the most conservative Republican offices before being hired as a special assistant to the president and later promoted to a principal aide for Mark Meadows, Trump's chief of staff. During her testimony, Hutchinson revealed that Trump was informed of guns and other weapons in the crowd of his Stop the Steal rally at the White House and still sent the crowd to the U.S. Capitol. AP reports that she also told the committee that Trump had even tried to join supporters. According to AP, Trump responded to her testimony on social media by calling her, quote, a total phony and bad news. So what's next for the House Committee hearings? The next hearing will not start until July, and the committee hopes to set up an interview with the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, Virginia Ginny Thomas. Earlier in the month, text messages between Thomas and some of Trump's team from days leading to and the day of January 6 were revealed. According to AP, she has previously stated that she, quote, can't wait to clear up misconceptions. Well, Ospreys, that's it for this special report of Capital Consequences on Inside Swoop in 90. Hello, Ospreys. Welcome to Inside Swoop in 90 and our special report on the January 6 hearings. I'm Megan Agugliaro here with an edition of Capital Consequences, where I give you the inside scoop on Inside Swoop. The House committee met last Friday for a former White House counsel's testimony. Pat Cipollone appeared before the House committee for a day-long private session. According to AP, Cipollone was a highly sought-after witness after it was revealed that he attempted to stop Donald Trump from challenging the 2020 election results in a last-minute hearing last month. The committee is also expected to hear from Steve Bannon, a former White House strategist, who is facing criminal charges for defying a congressional subpoena. On Saturday, a letter from Bannon's attorney revealed his willingness to now testify, but he may still have to stand trial for said charges after a judge declined to delay his upcoming trials, reports AP. So, what's next for the House committee hearings? The next hearing begins today and is expected to focus on the planning of a January 6th attack by white nationalist groups like the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, and the Three Percenters. AP reports that the hearing will also feature some of the information learned during Cipollone's testimony. Well, Ospreys, that's it for this special report of Capital Consequences on Inside Swoop 90. Hello, Ospreys. Welcome to Inside Swoop 90 and our special report on the January 6 hearings. I'm Agugliaro here with an edition of Capital Consequences, where I give you the inside scoop on Inside Swoop. Tomorrow starts the 8th January 6 House Committee hearing, and a lot of news has come out since our last show. So let's get into things. First, the House panel will be missing Chairman Beanie Thompson, a Mississippi representative who tested positive for COVID just days before the hearing. Next, it was revealed on Tuesday that Secret Service members' text messages from the time around the attack were deleted, despite requests from federal investigators and Congress to preserve them. AP reports that the Secret Service acknowledges the deletion of messages in a letter, saying that the agency's phones were switched to a new system in the weeks after January 6th. The House committee is expected to have new interest in the agency regarding the January 6th attack. The hearing today is expected to hear testimonies from two former White House aides. According to AP, Matthew Pottinger, a former Deputy National Security Advisor, and Sarah Matthews, a former press aide, are expected to testify in person. Both aides resigned immediately after the January 6 attack. The January 6 House Committee hearing will end for the summer and air today during the primetime slot. The committee is expected to focus on what Donald Trump was doing during the attack on the Capitol. Well, Ospreys, that's it for this special report of Capital Consequences on Inside Swoop 90. Hello, Ospreys. Welcome to Inside Swoop 90 and our special report on the January 6 hearings. I'm Megan Agugliaro here with an edition of Capital Consequences, where I give you the inside scoop on Inside Swoop. The 8th and final summer hearing aired last Thursday during the primetime slot, earning 17.7 million views, reports Nielsen. According to AP, during the 8th hearing, the committee focused on the 187 minutes between Trump's January 6th speech to the march to the Capitol. The House committee was also able to present footage of outtakes from Trump's speech on January 7th, refusing to say the presidential election was over. Now, let's get into what's next for the January 6th committee. According to AP, the committee hopes to reconvene in September to interview more witnesses like former cabinet secretaries. It has also been reported that they may subpoena Virginia Ginny Thomas, the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. One of Trump's longtime allies, Steve Bannon, was convicted for defying a congressional subpoena. On Friday, Bannon was convicted of contempt charges for defying the House committee's subpoena while investigating the January 6th insurrection and his involvement in the effort. According to AP, Bannon faces up to 2 years in prison when sentenced on October 21st. Well, Ospreys, that's it for this special report of Capital Consequences on Inside Swoop 90. Hello, Ospreys. Welcome to Inside Swoop 90 and our special report on the January 6 hearings. I'm Megan Agugliaro here with an edition of Capital Consequences, where I give you the inside scoop on Inside Swoop. First up, the House January 6 committee held its October hearing just last week, where the panel made a unanimous decision to subpoena former President Trump for his involvement. The former president was originally not supposed to be subpoenaed, but according to AP, the panel is doing so, quote, for relevant documents and testimony under oath. The panel also showed a new video of Trump where he described a multi-part plan to overturn the 2020 election results. The committee believes this led to the attack on the Capitol. Another video shown was of Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, giving an inside look at the Capitol on January 6 and how congressional leaders handled the situation. So, what's next for the House committee? The panel must set up an interview date with the former president. This can be revealed sometime this week, and it is unclear how Trump will respond. The panel is also talking to lawyers of former Vice President Pence, but it is not clear if he will give his testimony or be subpoenaed. According to AP, the committee will wrap up in the new year and is expected to make its final public arguments in December. Well, Ospreys, that's it for this special report of Capitol consequences on Inside Swoop 90. Be sure to check in with us next time for more updates, and until then, I'm Megan Agugliaro, and I'll see you next time.